Hello and welcome to Gardening with Ben's award-winning podcast, as voted by Grow Your Own magazine and by my followers and listeners. So if you're new to the podcast, make sure you click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts, listen back to all our previous episodes, sit back, grab a brew and let's enjoy today's episode. Hello and welcome to today's episode of Gardening with Ben. Well, we're now into October and this has got to be my favourite month of the year and the favourite time really. One of the reasons being it's my birthday on the 23rd of October, hint hint, shh. But yeah, my birthday is coming up, so that's one of the reasons. Not that I'm getting any younger, but I certainly still feel young, so that's the main thing. But it is autumn. Autumn has to be my favourite season of the year. It's strange really, because everybody would think, well, isn't summer your favourite season? But nope, autumn has got to be my favourite season. One of the main things about autumn that I absolutely love is just the smell. There's an autumnal smell. If you don't know what I'm going on about, it's the sort of like fresh leaves that you can smell what have fallen on the ground, and just getting some amazing photos of all the yellows and the reds in the trees and the colours that they provide when you're walking around, when you're in the gardens. And obviously all the leaves start dropping now, and with the wind that we've had yesterday and the rain, the leaves have been coming down everywhere. But I'm hoping to go exploring and doing a few walks and having a look around and trying to get some great pictures. And obviously it is now a good time to be collecting those conkers as well. Not that you're allowed to have conker fights these days in schoolyards like we used to, and I used to obviously dip them in vinegar and make them rock hard and varnish them up. But yeah, that was certainly one of my school time favourite things in the schoolyard doing, and you certainly did get some injuries, so probably the reason why they've stopped doing it. But yeah, autumn has to be one of my favourite months, and as I've explained in one of my previous episodes, it's the perfect time to get all the jobs done in the allotment. And if you have not listened to one of my previous episodes, one of the reasons being is that allotmenters say that leaves are like liquid gold. The reason being is that you've got a free compost there waiting for you. And if you've got a compost bin or an allotment, you often see people going out collecting leaves, volunteering to suck up all the leaves what drop down near your houses, on your drives, in the gardens, because this provides so much nutrition to the ground, and it fills up them compost bins, and they rot down so fast and easy as well. So they're the perfect thing to add to those compost bins. And now that I'm looking into getting into the composting way of doing stuff, I want to start collecting those leaves. So you might see me on the streets of Sheffield going around collecting leaves. If you see a big tall giant wandering around in the middle of the night or in the morning collecting leaves, you'll know it'll be Gardening with Ben, because it certainly will be. So that's one of the things that I want to really get into over the coming years, learning how to compost and getting it all going really. To say I've had a plot for 16 years, I've never got into composting, but the price of compost has gone up rapidly over the last year. I noticed for one of the big bags what you get from the garden centres, I can't say the name obviously, but it had gone from like £7.98 to £10 this year, so it is going up. And I've not used much compost this year because I've not grown my tomatoes and stuff indoors. But looking at next year, I will be growing stuff again back in my polytunnel. That is the plan, to use my polytunnel to its full potential next year and get it all up and running. because when I did get it up and running, wow, did I get some fantastic tomatoes and cucumbers in there. I got some amazing ones. And the reason why I didn't do it this year is because I didn't have time to water them, and I didn't want to start them all off and waste all my money getting it all prepared and getting it all ready, because I won't be able to commit to keeping them watered. And I know my neighbour offers to water them for me down at the allotments, but it's not always fair asking the neighbours to go and water them every day, especially when I had about 100 plants in there. I know, yeah, 100 plants. I'm one of these that start off tomato plants, and you don't want to chuck any away when they all germinate. You think that they won't all germinate, all the seeds, but 9 times out of 10 all the seeds actually germinate, and you don't want to chuck them away, so you end up using them all, or giving them away to a plot neighbour. But I really do want to make the potential of indoor growing next year. I really want to get my tomatoes growing, my cucumbers growing. I want to grow some peppers, I want to grow some chilies. I'm really going to commit to growing melons next year again. I tried them the other year, they didn't do very well, but I'm going to get back into doing them. And I'm going to look at seeing if I can grow any other stuff indoors as well, like aubergines, stuff that you wouldn't normally try growing or buying from supermarkets. I want to try growing it. I'm always ones for trying new things, even if I don't always like them. I love to try and experiment at growing new things, hence the reason why I've tried different squash and pumpkins this year, just for trying them really. I've not had fantastic crops because I've not committed enough this year, but I have had some crops from them, and I do it more for the fun and the enjoyment rather than the growing always, and to keep you guys entertained as well. That's another reason why I do it, because I love doing what I'm doing and sharing with you all what I do on a daily and weekly basis. So I want to try and see new things at growing, and I might even try growing peanuts again next year. That is one of the things that I do want to try, because I do love the monkey nuts, and I never knew until I read about it that these actually grow under the ground like potatoes. They don't grow in trees. I expected to pick them off a tree or a bush, but no, monkey nuts grow under the ground, and they're not actually classed as nuts as well. So I'm learning new things all the time while I'm providing you with information, because I'm reading up on stuff and I want to share it with you all. So it's always, I probably wouldn't have learned as much as I did without starting these podcasts up and my Facebook lives and stuff, because I'm always reading and I don't know everything, so I want to learn new stuff to share with you. So it's constant learning game gardening. So yeah, I've divulged a bit, but yep, autumn is the best month, and to get all them jobs done in the allotment, I'm going to be creating my to-do list for autumn and winter, and I'm hopefully going to be ticking them off as I get through them, and my shed will be the biggest task yet on the plot to do. I'm not going to take it all down this year. About 6 years ago I thought, that's it, I'm building a brand new shed, and it cost me like £300 to build it all, with the wood, the perspex and everything, and it's still all standing. But I want to make some improvements to it, and I don't have to spend any money doing the improvements, which is a good thing. The thing that I'll only need to buy is probably the screws. So watch this space for improvements on my shed, and to make it better for growing stuff in. So autumn has to be the best month, not just for my birthday, but for getting stuff ready for next year. And it's starting a blank canvas. You're just getting it all cleared, ready for next year, and you can plan ahead for the year coming. So I hope you've enjoyed today's podcast. I love doing these, and the more you listen, the more podcasts I'll record, because if I see good figures, then I'll think people are listening. So keep tuning in, click that subscribe button, and feel free to share on your Instagram post, because that gets the words out and people watching it. And the more people listening to it, not watching it, the more encouraged I am to do it. And I really do love seeing that people have listened to my episodes, because like I checked it today, and like 200 downloads over the last 24 hours, and I'm thinking, wow, that is a lot of episodes what people are listening to. So keep on listening and keep on sharing, and it certainly helps me enjoy it more. So thanks for listening. As always, remember, keep gardening and keep smiling. Until next time, speak soon. So thank you for listening to today's episode of Gardening with Ben. We hope that you've enjoyed this episode. Remember to do click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts. Feel free to share them on your Instagram stories so that it spreads the word about my podcast and we get lots more listeners. Feel free to check out my social media sites, Facebook and Instagram as well, Gardening with Ben, and also my YouTube channel, to stay up to date with all my handy videos, how-to videos, and sharing my tips and advice. And feel free to check the link as well in the description for my Gardening with Ben t-shirts. Lots of funny gardening design t-shirts in there for you to purchase at great prices too. So thanks again, and as always, remember, keep smiling and keep gardening.